to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
So we had a freeze in your annuals, and even some of your mums look really bad. There are some ornamental plants you can still put in right now that will last for a really long time, and even until next year. Hear what they are in our first segment.
Camellias are an underused broadleaf evergreen that can be grown in our area with a little bit of help. Hear how to get these cold weather blooming to grow in your yard during our second segment.
We have a call from a listener in North Jersey. She had questions about planting bulbs and growing boxwood in containers. Hear it all in our third segment.
The call continued with Marianne's husband asking her to ask us a question about giving squirrels a hot tongue. Listen in during our fourth segment.
During our final segment, we received 2 text messages that couldn't be more different. First up is a question about hydrangeas, and the second is about tomatoes. Listen in during our final segment.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back in the garden right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best-looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York Tri-State Area on Classic Oldies 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Hey, now that your mums look like crap, let's just be honest. Yeah, really. All right, do you want to save them? Do you not want to save them? I don't know.
I get rid of mine.
I get rid of mine, too. I mean, but those of you that want to create that perennial, go right ahead.
Yep.
That's another show. Mm-hmm. What we're talking about is what to replace them with. For me, number one is going to be either ornamental pansies, winter pansies rather, before cabbage and kale, or both. Cabbage and kale are eventually going to not look as nice. When you walk outside and it smells like coleslaw, you know that it's time to maybe get rid of them, but that might not be until January.
Oh, yeah.
They last for a really long time. But winter pansies, they don't like winter wind. There'll be some flowers. If like we're real windy, the flowers will basically fall off. That they'll dry up and they'll basically shrink. But the following spring, they'll come out and that they'll look incredible. You can also plant them over top of your bulbs. You can plant them in containers. Pansies look great now, and then again, starting in usually March, April, begin to flourish back. But let's talk about ornamental kale and cabbage. What's the difference, Julio?
The cabbage is not curly leafed. It's just a flat kind of a leaf.
So it looks
smooth,
like open cabbage, so not like a head,
right?
But an open cabbage. That we do have some here in the studio with us. I don't know, Aaron, are you able to pick that up? Oh, great. That again, it's like a flat leaf, and you see the center. Or like those of you that are watching us on our YouTube channel, and remember to subscribe. You won't have to remember. You'll get a notice every time it's posted. The color is in the center, and it's a contrast to the outer leaves. The outer leaves are usually a darker green, and the inside is usually a white, a pink, a purple, and that it has a great texture to it. But there's also the kale, which has more of a ruffled texture, and that it's just a little bit different. So you would use both. You could use them different. A lot of times you can mix colors. I wouldn't do like 1, 2, 3, 3 different colors, but I would block them like where you would have a planting of, say, maybe 3 or 4 of the same color and then another 3 or 4 of a different color. Right. So it gives you that contrast. I don't like mixed colors that often. Do you?
No, I don't like it either.
Yeah, it just what happens is it gets lost, and it's like somebody threw up the crayon box.
Yeah,
and it just isn't nice. Some plants you can get away with it. I've seen it done well with impatiens and other things, but on larger plants, that mixed color, you want to have some type of pattern, and usually there's the rule of thumb in landscape design where it's clusters of 3 or 5. It's odd numbers. It's not just here goes one, here goes another. But with cabbage and kale, some people don't realize these things get big.
Oh yeah,
that they'll be a foot, maybe 18 inches across. Almost, I've seen them 2 foot across.
Like this. And
what happens? The colder the weather, the more color they get. So the outside edges are that darker green, but the inside is like this white that is, the actual colored part of itself is 18 inches where the plant is 2 foot. Takes a while, and you've got to be, basically it'll take some time. But when we're talking about, getting towards Christmas or we're getting towards, some of the winter holidays, they're going to be gigantic. They're going to be gigantic. And we have weather such that like a freeze isn't going to affect these. And we're talking about 30s, upper 20s. Doesn't really affect them. If we go down to the teens, maybe. But if it's only for a night, they'll probably be okay. They'll probably be okay. So you'll have these long lasting. I have in my notes here, February, they're not a Christmas, they're not a color necessarily that you want. But again, it's going to take until then before you have to consider pulling them out. I've seen people leave them in over the entire Christmas holiday season and even into the winter when they do their spring cleanup. They're throwing away their cabbage and kale. Yeah. So again, pansies are an excellent plant. It's going to be different because a little different texture. You also better get out there now, get your local garden center right now because garden centers are in Christmas mode. And you better go get your pansies because they will be gone. But they're good to plant. we've had pansies in cell packs that we forgot were in a spot at the garden center, that they were on display. And, we changed over to Christmas and they got put like they were right next to where the Christmas trees were, but you couldn't see them because they were kind of like tucked under. Right. And they're sitting there flowering in a cell pack in March.
I know. It's amazing.
so again, like our segment with a name like pansy, they've got to be tough. Yeah. So again, ornamental cabbage and kale and pansies. And again, I love the pansies when they're mixed with bulbs, where you put, them under like an early flowering tulip, or you use a snowdrops, which are real early, and you put them in containers. I do plant pansies in my window boxes. Again, sometimes we need some motivation when it's cold in the springtime to get out of bed, and that's it. It's like, look, all right, here comes the sun. I should have had you prepared that for Sam.
We can maybe get it.
Another time. Anyway,
we lost some sun.
But and again, going back, ornamental kale and cabbage. Get out there to your local garden center. Now is where they are looking prime. I think it's too early to plant them in, say, September, but November is a perfect time. So again, mums are done, and again, your mums are hardy. They're hardy mums, but they take 9 months to really start to rebloom. That's an awful long time to wait for a plant. So I always say, if you want to keep them, plant them in an inconspicuous spot, somewhere to the back of a landscape or a garden, and that when they actually come up and flower, then you notice them. Otherwise, they'll look kind of weedy. Agreed, Hul?
Agreed, yes.
Okay. All right, we'll be back in the garden talking about camellias right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Are you looking forward to a spring of vibrancy while using the best organically approved growing media for your annuals and vegetables? Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter has been created to set a diverse culture ideal for germinating seeds and root cuttings. Created using the best ancient composting techniques and new age mixing devices, Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter gently combines kelp meal, worm castings, mycorrhiza, perlite, and sustainably harvested peat moss, establishing the most desirable setting to enhance new plant growth. Coast of Maine's Sprout Island Organic Seed Starter is available at these local retailers, or visit www.coastofmaine.com to locate one near you.
Barlow's, Seagirt, New Jersey. Espenshades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Monton, Pennsylvania. Ashcombs Farm and Greenhouse, Mechanicsburg, PA.
Bloomers Home and Garden Center invites you to our largest event of the season. Join us November 17th at 5 p.m. for our annual holiday preview party open house. Enjoy food, drinks, and live entertainment. Did I mention generous holiday savings? We'll be unveiling the latest in-home holiday decor and ornaments, including the Santa's Kindness interactive ornament. It's all going down November 17th at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. For more information, check us out at bloomers.com.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Well, camellias are one of our favorite broadleaf flowering shrubs. They can be tricky to grow, but we'll give you an edge on them right now.
That's right. So, all about camellias. First thing is they are not necessarily all in our hardiness zone. Our zone for our listening area is anywhere from a 7 all the way up to a 5 or down to a 5. And that where's places in, it's like Connecticut is going to be colder. North Jersey is colder. The western Pennsylvania and Poconos area colder. That you may not be able to grow these if you're picking up a camellia that is zone 7 without some help. If you can, and there are some available that are zone 5, and that's what you want to look. It's all about first, let's get that out of the way. Check the hardiness zone, know the zone that you're in and where you want to plant it, and make sure that you buy something that's good for that zone. Now, if you want to chance it, which a lot of people do. I know that I was talking with somebody out on Long Island where it can be a little more temperate because it's out in the sea and it has it's not as cold as some of the other areas that I spoke with. There's a lot of camellias that are out there.
There are.
And that even though that's north of where we are, that they're able to grow them. The trick with camellias is making sure that you plant them in a somewhat protected area. I laugh all the time, and we have a good time. In January, I have my Yuletide camellia, which I have. If you look on YouTube, I have actually one of the flowers from my plant where it begins to start flowering now, but it will flower all the way through January. Now, colder weather, it may not, like in the heat of the day, the bloom will open, and then if we get a nighttime temperature of 20 or what have you, it will basically make the flowers almost translucent, and then the flowers will drop off. But they are blooming. So if it's 35 degrees at night, they're looking great.
Okay.
They're looking great.
Beautiful.
And that again is the Yuletide camellia. Got to check your tags. Most camellias have really good tags on them. In the studio, we have different varieties here. Again, the red that you see, that is Yuletide. And let me see here, make sure as I quickly open my new iPhone. Isn't that nice? That we have the white, which is spectacular. And that is a fall blooming variety. As I drop it out of our mug.
Looks really good with the red, too.
Yeah, it does. No, were we just talking about mixing varieties?
Yeah, I know.
But it does. Again, the white is called Mai no Yuki.
Oh, Mai no Yuki.
Okay, I think it means doves in Japanese. The pink, this is a little easier one. This is pink butterfly with that enormous
Wow, it's huge.
pink flower, large petals, lots and lots of stamens.
Wow.
Look how bright yellow the center is.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to say is that they're a beautiful, underused landscape plant that can be cared for almost the same way that you care for rhododendrons and azaleas. It is, again, a dark green foliage, can take shearing. And again, when do we shear? After they
flower.
bloom. After they bloom. Again, if you can try to get them wind protection, that's what they like. Wind protection is essential. We talked about anti-transpirant. What is an anti-transpirant, Julio?
That's where the moisture comes out of the plants.
Right, but what's the spray?
Oh, the spray is going to be wilt stop. That's what you're going to use for that process to stop.
Right, and wilt stop. And what does it do for the plant?
Yeah, it gives it maintains that moisture within the plant, and it's like chapstick, so it keeps it moist.
There you go. Chapstick for your plants. And you can use it on all of your broadleaf evergreens. In a segment coming up, we're going to talk to Marianne and about using it on her boxwood. But again, if you're in that colder area and you need to put on like a winter protection, like a microfoam or something where it's kind of like burlap, but it's a little more rigid just to protect it from that wind, go ahead and do it. It's worth it. It's worth it in the long run. Make sure when you plant them that you plant them with lots of organic matter, and especially the fall. The fall is an essential time for you to get that root bed prepared, because we have a natural rainy season now, and a better rainy season in the spring, and you're kind of basically bridging the two time frames where you need to make sure that there's going to be moisture content in that soil over the winter so it keeps them hydrated. It's like Julio just was saying, that where there's moisture that leaves the leaves.
Easily.
It's funny. Anyway, the moisture leaves and escapes from the leaves, and that trying to protect them and keep them hydrated, so all of a sudden all that moisture's gone into the atmosphere rather than being stored around the roots. So people ask, like, do I still need to water? You need to water your plants until the ground is regularly frozen. Okay, I know that's a pain, but you'll have better plants for it. If you don't water, they're going to look like garbage, quite frankly. So you'll pay for it. You'll pay for it. Julio, what do you have to add? I know you talk about we talk about camellias all the time.
Yeah, you were talking about getting that good organic compost in there, and also they like to have a little bit of acidity. So you want to make sure that you fertilize it with hollytone.
Yep, Espoma hollytone.
Yep. And
it's the best fertilizer for landscape plants and for evergreens. Again, it's all about where you put them. You can't just put them like, I live on a corner, so I'm going to put them out by the street. You can't put them there. They're going to die. You need to put them in an area where there is some type of protection, wind protection.
And that's where you have yours.
By my garbage cans. Yeah. I do. I've got a little fenced off area so you don't see my garbage cans from the driveway. Right. And they're right in that little nook. And mine flower in January.
That's right. Right now they're starting to do
They're starting now.
Very nicely clipped, by the way.
But in any case, make sure you try it, because you'll be the coolest kid on the block when you have something flowering in your yard in the middle of winter.
Yeah. Didn't we call that an anomaly or something like that?
An anomaly, plant anomalies. We did that. That was a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
Anyway, if you've got questions about camellias, or you have camellias, love to hear from you that want to hear your camellia story, because, again, they're underused to me. They're an underused plant. Azaleas and rhododendrons. Just like, pass the beer nuts. But camellias, they're something special.
They are.
All right, be back in the garden right after this.
Are you looking to reach an audience of over 12 million residents in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and New York City Tri-State? Then consider becoming a broadcast sponsorship partner for Bloomers in the Garden. Every week on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, your products become associated with the authority in everything lawn, landscape, and garden. For more information on the Bloomers in the Garden Partnership Program, feel free to call the hotline 609-685-1880 or check out the radio tab at bloomers.com.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with their #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
If you're like me, then you absolutely love birds. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center has you covered. They're dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds of all sorts. Want to bring more birds to your yard? Then you got to see this place. Bloomers has a huge flock of feeders, birdhouses, birdseed, and much, much more. Want to feed the birds and not the squirrels? They have this absolutely cool bronze bird feeder that will drive those sneaky squirrels nuts. They'll be moving to the next door neighbor in no time. OMG. Bloomers have these absolutely adorable birdhouses that will turn your yard into the perfect bird B&B. They carry all types of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. Bloomer stocks, Lyric, Coles, CNS, Pine Tree Farms, and much, much more that will keep those beautiful birds coming back for more. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County. For more information and directions, check them out on the web at bloomers.com. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, you got to see this place.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, we received a call to the Bloomers in the Garden hotline from a North Jersey listener who asked a series of really good questions. In this segment, we're going to answer 2 of the 3. Here's her call.
Hi, Julio. It's Marianne. I have 2 questions. Hope all is well with you and yours. I want to plant some bulbs in a container so they'll come up in the spring in the container. And I don't know whether to plant the bulbs in the container and leave it out, or put it in the shed or the garage. And my other question is, I planted boxwoods in frost-proof containers and had great luck with them. And I have 3 more that are not in frost-proof containers, and I want to know if you think I should put them in the frost-proof container, or they'll survive in the regular plastic container. Okay, call me back. Oh, wait.
Like you mix pepperoncini in the birdseed to keep the squirrels away.
Oh, my husband wants to know if he could put red pepper flakes, pepperoncini, in the bird food, or will the birds get sick? Okay, call me back when you can. Bye.
Yeah.
My bad. We'll fix that.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks. Yeah. I don't know how that ended up like that. I definitely edited it, and there is a second segment coming up. So
there is a
stay
second
tuned.
segment coming up, so you've got to go to back editing.
Yeah,
that's
we're gonna clean that up in post. But
Aaron,
for you, the
Aaron
listener,
will be really happy. Maybe you can just buzz out the phone number.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, for you, the listener, it's gonna sound a little bit different when you finally hear it.
Yeah.
But
you have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But Sam was supposed to do some fancy editing and just kind of drop the ball.
I guess so.
Oh my gosh. I have a bad habit of doing exactly what Marianne's husband did.
Yeah.
You know, you got to tell them the other thing. No, let somebody's doing it's your significant others on the phone,
Right.
and they're like talking to a company or especially like if you're talking to like the electric company, or you're talking to, no, you have to tell them. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at that. Especially if my kids do it. Like I'm all worried about my kids because they're all adults now, and I want them to need their father somehow. But I tell, it's like, no, you want it? No, do it this way. And this is while they're on the phone trying to hear the person on the other end.
Meddling, it's called.
Yeah.
It's all right, Dad.
I tell you what, I have scars on my mouth now because Danielle and I are, almost 3 years in, and I have bite marks because I haven't quite. It's like, Danielle, babe, we've made it. When I talk over you when you're on the phone, but I know the consequences because you'll kill me. Okay? But I mean, it's bad. I do it to Jenny in the office.
Oh, yeah?
I was doing it to Aaron the other day.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, it's like, and I know what they want to say. I know, and it's not nice. It's not nice. It starts with shut the. Fill in your word. Up. I can't help myself. I get it from my father.
Oh, is that what happened?
My father.
Oh, my goodness.
You stop listening to your mom on the phone because your father's yelling on the other end.
Right. That worked.
Any of my siblings call, remember? Al, tell them to make sure they... I don't know. We are way off the reservation. That's here.
Where we are.
Marianne.
Where are we, by the way?
I understand, and I understand you, and I understand your husband. Anyway. Bulbs, plant them in the pots and just keep them outside.
Yeah.
Don't worry about moving them around. They'll be fine. They need a little bit of water. It's going to be good if you get any rainwater and such in them. It's going to help them out. If you go and you plant them and then have to move them out to the garage, the likelihood of you doing this every year is pretty slim, and it's not going to make them perform any better. And for those of you that don't know, tulips, daffodils, hyacinths, they need something called vernalization. There's that big word.
Oh, huge.
There's that big word. It's like, wow, I'm a horticulturist.
That's right.
Basically, what it means is that they just need to be cold for a certain amount of weeks. And I think it's 15 weeks under like 40 degrees. In southern states, we're talking to Professor Steve. He was in, he has to put his bulbs in the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
And he has to chill them because he's got a place in Florida. In order to get them to bloom, he has to keep them in the, like usually it's the crisper drawer of your refrigerator, that you keep them in there. And boy, you hope they don't start to rot because they stink. But in any case, he has to do that in order to get them to bloom down south. And like a lot of people wonder how he gets them to do that. And I wonder if he tells them. We'll ask him this Saturday.
Yeah.
Again, leave them outside. It's good they're going to get water. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Plant whatever you want. Go all to town. And cover them. Plant some pansies on top. Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
right.
You got it.
Well, you're shaking his head yes. Anyway, boxwood in frost-proof containers. I think there's a little bit of confusion, and I don't know if it's me. Frost-proof containers mean that the pots have been basically cured at a very, very, very high temperature so they will not crack when freezing occurs. It has nothing to do with the plant. You had success with them, but honestly, every boxwood that you buy that's in a container is kept outside. It's not, they don't bring them in. They do cover it with some plastic, like a greenhouse tunnel, but it's not heated. So just go ahead and put them out. Make sure you water them real good before, up until we get a freeze, because again, boxwood can get winter burn really bad. And make sure that you spray with wilt stop. That's a great anti-transpirant, and what it will do is it'll slow the respiration of the moisture leaving the root system through the leaves, and that's what you want. But again, that whole frost-proof container thing, that's usually a promotion on the pot itself that it's not going to have an issue. So keep them hydrated, hit them with the wilt stop, and they'll be great.
Yeah.
They'll be great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. And you talked to Marianne, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to me. She wants to talk to Julio.
Yeah.
To you and yours. Mine, it's
I
like,
know.
Doesn't matter.
Say, Len,
Maybe I'm maybe I'm yours, one of yours.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. All right. So what do you got, Julio? What did you guys talk about?
Oh, no, she has 16-inch pots, which are really nice. That's a good size.
For the bulbs?
For bulbs and boxwoods.
6-inch pots for boxwood?
16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
Oh,
6.
all right.
Yeah, they're pretty nice,
okay.
nice size.
All right.
And then I just let her know that make sure that she fertilizes it in the spring, and that continues to water them
right
on a regular basis. Just keep an eye on them.
How long did she have the ones in the pot and in the frost-proof container? Because evidently she made it over winter.
Yeah,
right?
a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And remember, there's some point you may have to step up the size of that pot.
Right.
But again, frost-proof container is not frost-proof for the benefit of the plant, but for the actual container not to split and crack.
Crack up, yeah.
Yeah. But sounds like you're doing good.
Yeah, she is.
And now we're going to address your husband's shouting question in this next segment coming up. We'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and eco-peat. Eco-peat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomer's Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Just before ending her call, Mary Ann's husband wanted to ask about using pepper flakes. Listen in.
Oh, wait.
It's like you mix pepperoncini in the birdseed to keep the squirrels away.
Oh, my husband wants to know if he could put red pepper flakes, pepperoncini, in the bird food, or will the birds get sick? Okay. Call me back when you can. Bye. Bye, Julio.
The call is so nice we play it twice.
I feel like I'm right at home, like back in my childhood. When, I mean, I do it all the time. And for all of those people that either work at Bloomers or family members, and I've talked over them, I apologize, but I just can't stop myself. It seems so important at the time. And again, before. I've done it to you.
For sure.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, no. Tell him. But when it comes down to it, hey, I get it.
You get it. Yeah.
I get it. Oh, real life. All right. Flakes don't adhere to the bird seed. Squirrels won't eat it, but the birds don't. It's not going to protect the seed. And that's what it comes down to. There is something called Cole's Flaming Squirrel Seed Sauce.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff. Did you use it?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's that's the bag that we got from Bloomers.
Yeah.
You guys,
well, but that's what's in it. This is, all right. At Bloomers, I thought of this great idea, right? I bought a cement mixer, a plastic cement mixer.
I saw
right?
that.
And so we were going to allow anybody to pick their seed, and that we would make it squirrel proof by putting the seed in the cement mixer and putting in the required amount of the Flaming Squirrel Seed Sauce by Cole's to make it into like a hot seed.
Okay.
My eyes still burn. Okay. The entire green, because it was in a little Quonset style greenhouse where we have what we call our bird sanctuary. You could feel it on your skin, in your eyes, in your lungs. And it was because I'm put the stuff in, and it's like, I thought it would be like the popcorn that you see the popcorn being made, or you see this, oh my God.
The hot stuff.
Oh, it really is. So don't put it in a cement mixer where it mixes around and around and around and around and around. You not only, it's bad for you. You're going to lose a customer because they may die from how hot that stuff is. So do it at home, like in a 5-gallon bucket, and you can. It's a lot safer than putting it in the cement mixer. We have tried a lot of things that don't work, and this is one of those ideas that did not work for us, but. The product works. So Cole's Flaming Squirrel seed sauce is what you want. And that the way that it's capsaicin pepper and it coats everything. And where it will make it's just basically distasteful. And why does it work? Okay, why does it work? The birds eat and they have a crop. They don't have a stomach per se like a squirrel does. So squirrel, has a tongue. Like birds have tongues, but it's not for tasting. Squirrels have saliva glands where birds don't. So squirrels have saliva glands. They go and they go to take a bite, and all of a sudden it's like a hot tamale. I mean, they don't like it. You can just see the cartoon squirrels spitting it out and everything else. And it's kind of where they just don't go back to it because they associate your feeder now. Like you've got the hot stuff. We're going to the neighbor and going to find something else. And that's the Cole's Flaming Squirrel seed sauce is the thing that works because it coats the entire seed. Now, Cole's sells different types of already, like have one type of seed called hot meats, and it's basically whole sunflower that's mixed with this Flaming Squirrel seed sauce, and it works. It works. Aaron, you've been using and if you look on YouTube, and please subscribe.
Yep.
And that we have one that's mixed with some safflower that Cole's has, and so it's the Flaming Sauce seed hot meats with safflower. Now, squirrels don't like safflower. Grackles don't like safflower. Squirrels don't like it because it's really bitter.
I don't even see the squirrels coming in the area of the bird feeder any longer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's great
Between
news.
that and the hot meats, they're coming in. They're not coming in any longer.
Yeah. Last week we had a segment on birds talking about how much more you can feed the birds if you're getting whole seed, where it's like, look for patio blend or look for, again, hot meat. You're feeding every seed that's in there is eaten. It's not like it's going to be all seed underneath, like all shells rather, underneath your bird feeder. So, again.
The question, does it do any damage to any of the squirrels, like their digestive system, the chili powder, or anything like
no.
that sensation?
Yeah, it's just, you don't.
I mean, even though they can't taste it,
you want mild sauce, not the hot sauce.
I mean, like you're eating. You go to El Paso, Texas, you get some hot sauce in your burrito. It doesn't go
unless I've got.
It doesn't come out the other way the same way.
So, I don't know. That's a different show. Where's one of those doctor shows that are on this station?
Those are on the weekend.
They're on the weekend. All right. But where again, it's not gonna. And again, there's a question and answer thing on the Cole's website where someone asks, is chili pepper physically harmful to any of my backyard friends? And the answer is absolutely not. Scientific tests have proven that the hot sensation caused by eating chili peppers is only a temporary sensation and stimulation. That means there's no actual permanent physical damage to the eye, nose, throat, or tissues of any bird or animal that eats it. It feels no different from handling peppers while cooking, and it makes for a very safe, effective, and humane way to increase the number of bird visits to your feeder while making sure they remain exclusively for the birds.
That's good.
There you go. There's the answer. Yeah. And again, I can't say it enough. You're looking for. It's called Cole's Flaming Squirrel Seed Sauce. When you mix it, just don't put it in a cement mixer. Okay. We were trying to make it like, where everybody, it was going to be a thing. but when it permeated the air, it was not a good thing. So what you want to do is be very careful. I would use rubber gloves because you don't want to wipe your eyes. Like even if you use hot meats, if you put hot meats and get it on your fingers, have you done this, Aaron?
I have.
Yep.
I didn't. I had to wash it immediately though. I mean, I smelled it, but I didn't.
Did you get it in your eye?
No, I was smart.
Because it's like a hot pepper. Where if anybody that's grown hot peppers and like you want those Carolina Reapers that like burn your throat out, that you wipe your eye
you smell
and
it.
it burns your eye, and then you're like trying to figure out now what do I do? So just be careful. Just be careful when you're working it. The Cajun Cardinal blend by Kohl's is what we were talking about earlier. There's also a blend called Blazing Hot Blend, but those are seeds. Like there's black oil sunflower, and not give me the hot meats. Every single kernel is going to be eaten, not where it's going to have to split the shell.
Really good patio mix.
Yeah. Yep.
Really good for your deck.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, all right. If you've got questions and you know where to get a hold of us on the hotline, that's 609-685-1880. We talk about everything.
Even chili.
We talk about hot things. We talk about our own family issues. Right. But in any case, let's stick to gardening. Gardening or landscaping. We'll be back in the garden right after this. You know, some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Organic Potting Soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is available at these local retailers.
Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania. Ashcombe Farm and Greenhouses, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Tony's Farm and Garden, Windsor, New Jersey. Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Are you looking to reach an audience of over 12 million residents in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and New York City Tri-State? Then consider becoming a broadcast sponsorship partner for Bloomers in the Garden. Every week on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, your products become associated with the authority in everything lawn, landscape, and garden. For more information on the Bloomers in the Garden Partnership Program, feel free to call the hotline 609-685-1880 or check out the radio tab at bloomers.com.
We're talking about Aaron's landscape here, Bloomers in the Garden. We're talking about camellias. Anyway.
My bad.
Look, we got great questions this week, not only from Aaron, but we also received text messages on the hotline.
Yes.
Here's 2 that we received this week.
Why do my tomato leaves on the bottom always get yellow and brown?
Well, I've got the answer to that. You know, when you're a little kid, you think that plants grow and like the branches that are on the bottom of the tree that they kind of just stretch up and the trunk grows. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen. What happened? Those leaves that are on the bottom are the first leaves to come out, and that they are going to get covered by the plant as it grows. So those leaves are supposed to be producing chlorophyll and food for the plant, but they become less productive because they're shaded and they aren't getting as much sunlight. So the plant says, you know, you're not doing your job. We're getting rid of you. So we're going to make you yellow. What to do is just pinch them off, throw them away. You don't want them to have them lay on the ground. But again, it's the plant's way of just jettisoning those unproductive leaves. That's why it's always, and again, we're going to get in deep, okay? You get it all here on Bloomers in the Garden. There are determinate varieties of tomatoes and indeterminate. And what that means is a determinate is going to be like a bush tomato where it's only going to be a certain size and not grow past that. Those bottom leaves may stay green, but they're not going to produce all summer long. Where an indeterminate are those ones where you hear people say, oh, I staked them, they were 6 foot tall, where they continue to give tomatoes the entire season. But those bottom leaves, I can guarantee you, are yellow, brown, or just plain off. There's no production on those leaves for producing sunlight, so there's no reason to have them. Perfect. Do you understand that? Got it?
Sir. Got it.
All right. Second question is this one.
No,
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to do
Go
it.
ahead.
Because you're going to answer it.
Okay.
Here we go. We're fighting. I have another hydrangea question. On November 5th broadcast, you said not to cut them back until after the first bloom. How do you define first bloom? My flowers come in blue, remain blue for several weeks, then fade, but the blooms are still on the plant even now. Thank you. Love your show.
Really good. Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, Julio.
Right.
When's the first bloom cycle and how do you know?
After that several weeks, cut them back.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. So most of the time they'll start blooming in April, May, right? And it's more May, June. And that they'll have like the full abundance of flowers. You can go on each flower, and as that flower fades and drops off, you could actually trim each stem or wait until all of the blooms are off. Because reblooming hydrangeas bloom on their
new wood,
which means new growth. So you'll get some flowering. But on those, because it blooms on their
old wood.
No, on their new wood.
Yeah.
That it doesn't really matter that you're cutting them back. And that's the thing. You can cut them back almost any time. It's the other varieties, the old varieties, like Julio just said, on their that bloom only on their old wood, that you can be cutting off flowers for the next season. So cut them back. And again, you get that first bloom that they look tremendous. That secondary bud that comes around on reblooming hydrangeas, don't worry about cutting that off because those rebloomers, it'll be that much nicer and fuller after you get you cut it back a bit. Yeah. So again, if you want to consider it just deadheading, that's fine too. Yeah. But the only time that you get a chance to really shear it back to make it more dense and compact is going to be after that first bloom cycle. Right?
Right.
There we go. All right. But remember, don't cut them back now. Don't cut them back now, please. Tell your landscaper, don't cut these back. Tell your husband, Marianne, tell your husband, don't cut back the hydrangeas. All right. We'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Bloomers Home and Garden Center invites you to our largest event of the season. Join us November 17th at 5 p.m. for our annual holiday preview party open house. Enjoy food, drinks, and live entertainment. Did I mention generous holiday savings? We'll be unveiling the latest in-home holiday decor and ornaments, including the Santa's Kindness interactive ornament. It's all going down November 17th at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. For more information, check us out at bloomers.com.
Is she gone?
Nope, she's still standing there.
What is she doing?
I think she's watching the grass grow.
That's our job.
I know, right? She's watching the grass grow, the flowers grow. Ooh, look, the trees are growing.
Can't say as I blame her. Remember where she bought all this stuff?
Duh, bought us there too.
Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Find us online at bloomers.com.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York Tri-State Area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Me and Julio
Tell you
down
what.
by the schoolyard.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of questions. Good questions
good
today.
questions. Yeah,
really good. Again, vernalization is a fancy way of saying leave your bulbs to get cold. They need it. So if you're planting bulbs in containers or you're planting them outside, they need that cycle of it's about 15 weeks for them to be below 40. And that it's something like I think we haven't planted our bulbs yet. We're probably putting our 7,000 bulbs around Bloomers probably next week. Yeah. So you've got time. Don't think that you don't have time. You've got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Plenty. Yep.
So, I don't know. Camellias.
Oh, we love camellias. Oh, my goodness.
And again, it's all about success with camellias. Mm-hmm. If you are in one of those zone 5 areas and you're planting camellias and your plant turns all brown, don't give up right away. Don't give up. That there will be secondary buds that may sprout in the following spring. And that just, try to, again, plant it in a safe, secluded spot. It'll tolerate some shade, prefers sun, but it'll tolerate some shade. But again, it's all about planting it, right plant, right spot, right Julio.
Oh, sure. That's what the key is.
That's it. That's it.
There's plenty of color folks out there. Don't forget your pansies, your kale, your cabbage. There's still plenty to plant out there.
Yeah. And gosh, how many times do we get this? And can I still plant?
Oh, yes. We get that every week.
Yes, you can plant. You can't plant when the ground is so frozen, you can't get a shovel in the ground.
That's the only time.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, there's plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of gardening to do.
If you have questions, please call the hotline. That's 609-685-1880. Leave your question. We'll call you back with an answer. If we use your question on the air, you get a T-shirt. Only one per year.
That's it.
All right. Well, see, I guess we'll give one to Marianne's husband, though.
We'll
give one to Marianne. May have one already, but we're going to give it to her husband.
We'll get her one.
He gets honorable mention.
I'll call her back and let her know.
Yeah. All right.
You can listen to Bloomers in the Garden anytime. And you can go to your favorite podcast provider and look at us there. Or you go to bloomersinthegarden.com and you can hit the radio tab and look at us there too.
Sam, thanks for the telephone number.
Doing a great job as always.
Yeah, that's a great job.
No technical issues
I'm not sure what to say about today. Aaron, thank you. We'll see you next week in the garden. See you in the garden.